SEO, as in search engine optimization, has become a four-letter word, because so many people have tried it and been burned and promised results. And what I like to call it is local visibility or being found. Like you said earlier, Vince, getting clients is really the bottom line, right? That's what they want. This is just the tool to use it, or just the method, one of the methods to get them new clients. So with the local SEO, it's a more long-term solution. So like if you, can you open up a tab and just type in house cleaning Reno? So it used to be, 10 plus years ago, a lot easier. I mean, I could get people ranked, sometimes within a week. I mean, it was just amazing. But now it can take 3 months, 6 months, even more, depending on how competitive that particular niche, the business niche is. So people have to understand they have to be ready to take on that. It's a long-term investment. It's like I used the stocks analogy earlier. I'm a stockbroker, and I know what methods have the higher probability of working. If anyone says, I know how Google works and I guarantee I'll get you on the first page, you got to just run, because if you can't guarantee anything with Google. Like you said earlier, Vince, they're constantly changing out their algorithms. I mean, they have teams of hundreds of people that are constantly refining and changing the algorithms. And agencies like ours, we're trying to always keep up and figure out what they're doing and how to get the results. And we know, based on a number of things that we've done and following the industry and being part of masterminds and all that, and constant education, we're able to get results for our clients. But there's no one way to do it. As far as with local SEO, there's no one way to do it. There's a variety of ways, and there's a variety of things you have to do. There's on-page SEO. There's off-page SEO, meaning backlinks. You may have heard the expression backlinks. These are links to others from other sites to yours. So it used to be the person who had the most backlinks won. Now you can have the most backlinks and still not rank. It's the quality of backlinks, the types of backlinks, how they connect to the pages. So if I have a backlink that says like, we're looking at house cleaning, but so it's house cleaning, and that link's coming in, but it's landing on a page that is for boots for sale or whatever. There's something that has nothing to do with it. That doesn't help you. So you have to have that continuity. So there's really sophisticated way to get backlinks, and without having Google think that you're spamming them. We also use a system for backlinks, which there's only one system out there that I know that does this, that's dynamic. So we can actually go in and typically the way when you create backlinks, it used to be you throw 1,000 backlinks out, hopefully half of them stuck, and hopefully half of those would get you some Google juice, some Google love. We have a system now that we use that we don't put out a ton of them, but we do really high quality ones, and then we can also change them. So even though we've already created them, down the road, if we see that we need to change, if we're getting penalized or we have another opportunity with a different keyword that we really want to focus on, we can actually go in and adjust our backlinks, which is pretty much unheard of in the industry. So there's a lot of ways a lot of moving parts with SEO. There's not just one thing that has to be done. And as an example, so like with house cleaning Reno, so there's two ways that you get found with on the organic piece. And so we're looking first of all, below the ads, we're looking here at the Google local. Whoop, you just went past it. So typically you have to be in the top 3. So you see White Lotus, that's one of my clients, and they've been with me since 2009. They're at the number 1 for Google local. Sometimes we'll bounce around, but typically we're always in that top 3. And that's part of the whole Google local, Google My Business component. Then below that are the rest of the organic listings, the website listings. And like you mentioned earlier, Vince, Yelp and a lot of directories typically will show up at the top. We're able sometimes to outrank those or bounce around. Sometimes we will bounce around with them. Can you go back But if you look down, so I think we're about to, right now, this week, we are, so we've got we've got 3 directories ahead, and then there's a couple of the big agencies, and then you'll scroll down, and there they are, whitelotusreno.com. So, we bounce around on the home page, on the first page, and we've been there on that first page for a long time. Sometimes we're the first one, sometimes we're down here more towards the middle. But that's the thing, there's constant work. It's not like you can just set it and forget it. There's constant monitoring and adjustments and making sure, because we've got other people doing what I'm doing too for other companies. And then again, with all of Google algorithm changes, we have to make adjustments as Google makes changes as well. So this is an example of the local SEO. And so if you go to the packages, so we've got the starter package. So the starter package is a way for people that want to compete but don't really have a lot of money or a big budget. So we're going to get results. It may take longer. This is going to let them to start compete, but they're not, they're in the pool waist deep. They're not fully committed, but it allows them to at least start on that path and to get rankings. So the first 2 packages are really at that, getting in the pool, getting in waist deep, testing it out, see if the water feels comfortable, and it works with a lower budget. Most people, if you really want to be competitive, they're going to have to come in at the pro or the gold level to really be competitive. And again, it depends on the marketplace, because so the lawyer coming in, a lawyer who's coming into the business in a metro area, like, Portland's a relatively decent sized metro area, as an example. There's a lot of people that have been doing this for a long time. So just to jump in at the starter package, it's going to take a long time, and they're probably not going to get the results. So I wouldn't even advise that. I would, be upfront with them, say, look, you need to at least be at the pro at a minimum. If you really want to compete and you really want results faster, we've got to have a more aggressive gold, platinum way to go. But it allows, most of the clients that we deal with are in the pro gold. We have some that are larger, but that's the real sweet spot in order to get results in those 3+ months and to start getting rankings. The other thing too is that's really, really, really important is to really understand what you're targeting. There's some systems out there and people that do what I do, they'll say, yeah, we'll get you ranked, no problem. But they rank you for words that have no traffic, minimal traffic, or just meaningless. Just don't have any buyer intent. Like if I get you, like, we'll go back to, you don't have to go back to screen, but just using house cleaner, if I just had ranked them for cleaner, well, that's a tough word to begin with, but if someone just types in cleaner, well, are they talking about a cleaning product? Are they talking about someone to clean for them? What is their intent? But if someone types in house cleaners near me, that shows a strong intent, right? That shows a real strong intent. Yeah, cleaners could be dry cleaners, house cleaners, it could be, there's a lot of different types of cleaners, window cleaners, right? But if you type in house cleaner near me, that shows a strong intent. So really getting ranked for those words that have the highest intent is really important. And then again, having that continuity so that when people do rank and they come to your website is really geared to get them to take action very quickly. And again, just to reiterate, this is a longer-term solution, but like you were talking about earlier, Vince, having, dominating on Google, having your ad show at the top, your being in the top 3 on Google Local, and then being on the first page as far as your website. That's how you dominate Google. So, tying back in with the paid traffic is a really great way to start getting traffic. And a lot of times what we'll do with clients is we'll have them do the paid traffic along with the local SEO. And as the local SEO results start to kick in, then we can throttle back the paid traffic. We typically advise them to keep it because that way you dominate. But we can throttle it back because they're getting more and more results. And typically, it is a longer build out for local SEO, but your return on investment is going to be overall cheaper on the local SEO as compared to buying it per click, but it just takes longer. So having both of those going at the same time is really that's the way to dominate. To show 3 places on Google, and then you're dominating. You're dominating it, but again, dominating for the right keywords. The keywords are going to get traffic. We mentioned the tools. One of the tools, well, actually 2 of the tools that we use, allows us to go in and look at competitors to see what keywords they're ranking for and where they're getting their traffic. So we can tell, where is, house cleaning. Is it house cleaning near me, or is it using the house cleaning example? We can really see where they're getting their traffic and what words are the most valuable to target.
One of the reasons also for people to go the SEO route is, I just pulled up this one right here. So let's take, and let me go back. So you see right here, people are paying and for this positions up here, right? You got Pinnacle right there, see? But you can pay, Franklin, tell them what some of the price is per click on some of these. Like, what's your lawyer? That can be up to $25 or more sometimes, huh? In certain areas.
I've seen, and here, clicks. We're getting clicks on the disability side. I've got him down to as low as $6. But he was doing it himself before, and he was paying sometimes over $25 a click. And it can be even higher depending on the keyword. This is pinnaclepest.com, I can tell you.
Yeah, I just looked up pest control center near me. But
yeah,
the point I was making is, like, it depends upon the industry, but it can be kind of pricey. And what happens when their budget is spent, or their competitors, right? So as powerful this is and as much business as they can get from it, and I highly recommend it, once this goes down or their budget's spent, they're gone, right? But if they have some placement up in here, then they can get clicks. So then this is all, they're not paying per click on this. Now they paid for the SEO, but now see, so you got Pinnacle here and you got Pinnacle here. When this Pinnacle ad goes away, then he's not even being found. So he needs to have a good SEO strategy. So when you're talking to your clients, you want to hook them up with both. And, this is not too bad. It's got a video, not too bad of a landing page. But Google reviews, maybe do a little bit more work on this landing page. But see, call now for a fast, accurate inspection. So then at least he's being found and he's not having to depend just upon this. And also the statistics say if they see you here, they see you here, and they see you here, they're going to be apt to go with you. And then if I click in here, and if I see them in here, and they're in the top 10, right, then this guy's really, but this may not be his area. He might be outside his area. But if you can land it in all these areas.
He's getting most of his traffic from Pest Control Sacramento is the keyword, and that cost per click is averaging out over $26 a click. And
there you go.
And there's 1,600 searches a month, and he's getting 22% of his traffic from that keyword. And so.
And you really need these campaigns to work together because in your SEO, you can only go after so many cities, so many key terms, right? Where with the pay-per-click campaign, you can hit different cities, different areas. I want to tell the difference of that, but they really need to work together.
Absolutely. Now, that's the one thing, too, is that with Google, especially, it's like there's a house cleaner up here that we're working with, and right now he's in the Vancouver, Portland area, but he wants to expand out up into Seattle and different areas. And so that's a really good way to be able to target those areas quickly with Google AdWords, or even, Facebook would be another one where he can build brand awareness. Because we have done quite a bit of Facebook advertising for house cleaners as well. So there's 2 good platforms for him. Obviously LinkedIn is not a good platform, but he's got 2 good platforms. But you can really target by area with those platforms, where to build out locally, it would take a long time to have multiple areas, and especially if you don't have physical locations in all those areas. it makes it even harder. It's not impossible to do, but it does take a lot of effort to do.
Yeah, so I know some people that have actually set up 25 different websites to hit different cities to get out there and make this happen, and and do SEO on each one of those and create their own content and do the whole website. There's companies out there that'll do that. But when you tie these together, it's really powerful, and they can get a lot of results. So if you're watching this video now, we're talking about SEO, you may want to go back and watch the other video for paid traffic, Pinnacle paid traffic in the marketplace, and see, get information over here. So does anyone have any questions moving forward? And while you guys are thinking about your questions, if you have any, I just want to add in here. Your whole goal and our whole goal at Agora is to actually help your client get customers. We don't want them just to buy stuff, get in here. So, but there's a little bit to it. That's why we do a lot of training, a lot of teaching, and then partnerships like Pegasus. When I talked to him, I could really tell he knew stuff, and I'm always looking for the right relationships, and our relationships grow. And some of the things that Pegasus offers between their website, the SEO, and the paid traffic, look, it doesn't get much better than this. And if you really want to help your client, this is some of the best ways to help them. Get them a strong website, get them a strong pay-per-click campaign going, and then get an SEO campaign going at the same time, depending upon their budget. So the more you know, the more you understand your client, you got to find out. I always, a couple things I like to do too is find out, what their, for the return on investment, what a client's worth to them. Like, okay, what is your average client worth? Starting there, and then establishing a budget based upon that. So if we get you X many clients, number one, it pays for it, and then at this point it becomes profitable. And then you start going in, and that's how you build it. And then some clients might start on lower campaigns and build up, and then they might even build up to some. I know some clients spend 4, 5, 10. And some lawyers, $100,000 a year. I mean, some people will spend some bank on this, and but they don't go there unless they trust that it works. And the trust is earned because you put this out there, and like you said, they start getting phone calls. We ran a campaign with. I was working with a limousine service up here, and we ran a pay-per-click campaign, and we got them a lot of calls right away. Where I knew the SEO was going to take too long. So we jumped on a pay-per-click campaign and got quick results. So some of you guys that have some clients out there, you may want to go back to if you don't have them on the pay-per-click campaign, make some adjustments. We didn't have an affordable pay-per-click campaign in there, right? And then we had some SEO stuff. But these two combinations are very, very powerful. Let me check over here. I think we might have a question.
And I think And I'd like to add, Vince, one thing that it's so important what you just said, the average, what's the average value of your client? Because people don't think that way. Like this pest control, they're paying $25 a click. And if they're fully optimized, out of 10 clicks, they might get 5 people that actually call them. And out of those 5 people, they might get 2 that actually do it. So they've just spent $250 to get 2 people, $125. But they know, I don't know what they're making, but let's say if they know that the average house is $1,000. So they've spent $125 to make $1,000. So besides, it's so important, like you just said, to sit with them and say, well, what's the average value of your client? Not just on the short term, but on the long term. What's your retention? What is this? And then the follow-up question is, how much are you willing to spend to get a client? So if you know the average value of your client is $1,000, or you want to spend $1, $10, $100, $5,000 or $500, what are you willing to spend? There's a company, Beachbody, which makes PDX 90, I believe, is their product, one of their many products, and they know they'll spend 100 to 150% to get that initial sale because they know that they're going to upsell them and make way more money. So they know what they're making per client and what they're willing to spend. So that's really, really important. That's one of the things I didn't mention earlier, but that's one of the things that we also walk through to figure out which platform is going to be best for them. Because if you got someone that's only, selling, chains or something for $5, little wrist chains or something, they're not going to spend. They can't spend $1, $5 to get a client. They need, because they have no upsell. So, it's real important to understand that. The one thing I want to add too is that on the monthly, both this and the paid traffic are both monthly. So we need to make sure we're getting ROI for the client to keep them happy so they continue with us. And with the local SEO, they also get the monthly video. So it's usually 5 to 10 minutes where I give them a monthly update. I take them through the ranking reports, their analytics. There's a number of things showing them what we've done, what we're working on, our successes, things that we need to continue to focus on. And I give them a little bit of paperwork. I'll send them usually a couple ranking reports. So they'll have that for the reference. But it's the video that's really important, because that way they can watch it at their convenience. They can share it with different people in the business or in their business. And it just allows them to hear my voice and feel that they're getting that attention that a lot of companies don't do. Because a lot of companies just dump reports on people and say, yeah, here's your results, or here's your portal login. You can go figure out where you're at. We don't do that. We make sure that on a monthly basis we let them know, so they know they're getting, here's the traffic we're getting, here's the results we're getting you. And the only thing I don't know how many people they're converting. They need to give us that feedback. But we can show how many people we're leading to them. And again, we need to prove ourselves every month. And that video is part of that, the way that we do that.
Yeah, this is very powerful, and like I said, we appreciate this relationship. Gene Mayland actually set up a client, Left and Sons, and they do farm drainage. And you guys work on the website. You put that video together. I watched that video, and it was a very good video to watch. And also with that client, I'm not sure. I think Gene is on the call, but their customer, if they get a customer, I think it could be worth. Gene, do you know how much one customer is worth? Are you on the call right now? I'm going to check if she's on or not muted out. But that customer can get like a $500,000 or $1 million client. They get some really, because they're dealing with these big old farms and farm equipment, and so so that would be a very powerful person for a campaign. And also they could afford it and then put a higher amount towards it, because it would be worth their while to get that and to do, and then to keep with the SEO. So getting back here, we're doing an SEO video. If you're just new to the call, if you haven't seen the pay-per-click, you may want to go back and watch that, because you can understand the paid traffic video, and it'll help you understand a little about this. So we had one question here. It looks like, Troy, you have a question about B2B marketing and SEO.
Yeah, hey,
Troy.
how's it going? Hey, so my question is, I'm going to take the pest control customer that you have, that you're working with, client, that my question is, I noticed, like, for example, you are focused more on the B2C side of his business. Now, obviously, I would assume he does B2B as well. He probably does restaurants and commercial entities for, routine pest control. My question is the cost and difficulty of doing SEO and marketing, does it tend to be a little higher B2B versus B2C? And, are there strategies that even that out, or, does it matter? Is it more of an industry issue, or can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so with local SEO, the question comes down to, are people searching for you, right? So whether it's B2C or B2B, are people searching for your services? If no one's searching for what you do, if what you're doing is so specialized and so niche that there's no searches for it, then Google's not the right place for you. Whether it's paid traffic or the local SEO, it's just not the right place for you if no one's searching. And there are sometimes we've had where I just had to tell the people, look, what you're doing, there's just not enough people that are searching for for your product or service, right? But that's very rare. Typically, like, there's a house painter that I've been working with here in Portland for a few years, and so he does both. He does commercial as well as residential. So we've got him ranked really well for both. but he doesn't get a whole lot. Occasionally he'll get someone and it'll come through on the commercial side, but more on the commercial side, it would be better if he wanted. He's really, really busy now, so he won't do this. But if he wanted more commercial clients, then LinkedIn would be the way to go, or possibly Facebook, depending. That would be the way to go, to really try and reach out to those people that aren't really searching. They have a need, but they're not really searching for it, or they may not even know they have a need, depending on the market. In the case of house painting, a lot of commercial people would go with, businesses will go with who they know or who they've heard about. So reaching out to them on the Facebook or LinkedIn platforms is a good way to go.
Yeah, would you say that LinkedIn, I've heard that LinkedIn tends to be a little pricier, but that if you're doing B2B, that it's a better fit? Would you say that's largely the case?
B2B, LinkedIn on the B2B side, that's what it's really geared towards, right, is B2B. We've had really good success depending on the business, like with payment processors. I've got success in both LinkedIn as well as Facebook, and the person I'm doing the Facebook for them, we're actually setting up a LinkedIn as well, because he wants to go for, with Facebook, we're getting a lot of response, but it's more the mom and pop shops, compared to where he wants to get to the bigger clients. Like with the other payment processors I have, that he just does LinkedIn because he wants big accounts. So for him, it's more laser focused on LinkedIn, where with the other payment processor, both platforms are going to give him results. So it really, there's not a blanket answer. It really depends, and that's one of the things that we really determine is the local SEO right fit and is paid traffic right fit, and if they are, what's the best way to implement both of the strategies.
Great, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
And one thing also, as you're learning, the more you know about the stuff when we teach you and we can get you acclimated, you don't necessarily know everything how to do this. You just need to know enough how to sell it. And if you do make a mistake and sell a wrong package, Franklin and his team will go in there and they'll help get someone on the right package and point them in the right direction. And
exactly.
Our whole goal is to really help the customer. And if you go in with that heart and really thinking about them getting leads, then you're not selling them things they don't need. You're not trying to give them an SEO, and then they're like before a pay-per-click campaign, or maybe they don't have a good website together, or maybe they do have a good website. So you're advising them based upon really good fact-finding knowledge and expertise, and that's where they'll get results, and they'll stick with you for years. And I have clients that, look, we collect from them every single month, and I'm not going to lie, I've had some clients where I'm just going to say it was a learning lesson, and I wish I would have dropped them on a pay-per-click campaign faster, not an SEO campaign. They would have got quicker results. So a lot of the things that we teach and we tell you are things that we've learned firsthand, learned about different aspects. So as we teach you and you understand this, we're trying to help you to really help your clients and your customers, and at an affordable rate. And then we also made it affordable so they can get more things. So they can get the video, or they can get social media, or, there's a lot of other products they're going to need out there. Looks like we have one more question out here. Let me double check.
And can I just add to that real quick, Vince? Is that, when we come in, we're going to make sure that the package, whether it's website or any of local SEO or paid traffic, is the right package for them. And a lot of times, clients will tend to go up, but we also have some where we've taken them down, going, this is too much for you. You don't need this. So, we have integrity, and I really, like you do, and that's why we're partnered with Agora, because, I can tell you guys have a lot of integrity, and it's not like, how much money can I get from the clients? Like, I want to get them results and make sure they're in the right place. So we have taken clients down that were oversold inadvertently, and it happens sometimes, or sold the wrong package. They were sold in e-commerce when they really should have had just a standard website, or vice versa, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So Andy has a question here. He has a friend that's a self-employed architect, but he's very standout in membership services. Let me double check here. I bet we could triple his business, but he is very self-reliant, skeptical to the point that he sarcastically wished me the best trying to be successful with Agora. Vince or Franklin, any good examples of small architect firms that I could use to open his mind? Otherwise, I don't want to waste his time, although he's been a friend of mine for. Do you have any examples of any architect you work with by chance, Franklin?
We had one a long time ago, but he since is retired. The thing. So here, I had a call last week with a company that also does skin products. They manufacture and sell their own skin products, and the wife was very open, and the husband was completely sounds like this architect, and so basically, what I did is I went and I said, look, here's the numbers. Let me show you the numbers. Here's what's possible. I know you've been burned. I'm not going to guarantee. If someone tells you they can guarantee results, they're lying. But I know that I can get results. But here's the numbers, and here's what you can do. And if you want to go down that route, here's what you can. So, like in this case, what I would do is we could do a quick a consultation where we can look at the numbers for competing architects and see where they're advertising, how much traffic they're getting. And that's the way to show them. Say, look, your competitor over here. Look at all he's buying ads and he's spending money every month. Why would he do that if he wasn't getting results? And here's another competitor that's ranking really well on local SEO. So and here's all the traffic. Here's all the hits he's getting. So that's the way I typically, when people are skeptical like that, I'm just going to say, well, look, I'm not here to sell you, but let me show you some numbers. And you tell me if you want to move forward. And if you do, I'll be happy to. But there are people they've been burned so much, or they're just skeptical like this. So that's the way. And I'm open to, if you need help with a client, just let me know, and I can run some numbers and give you some things to show them, or I could put together. Typically, what I'll do is I'll put together a video, and I can send that to you to share with your client and say, look, here's the numbers. Here's what you could do if you wanted to. And so that's what I find to be most helpful with people like your architect friend.
So Franklin, we could have call the number on the screen or email, and then so basically if you have a skeptical client that they're not ready to buy but they need a little bit of help, they can just call you to help close that deal in
Absolutely,
advance.
If it's email me, but if it's urgent, just call. Absolutely.
So this number here at the screen, 503-746-8311.
Yep, absolutely.
And then Agora.
That one. Yeah, that one goes, and because that's the best way. I've got these tools where I can go through very quickly, within an hour, and figure out based on where they're at. I can see how much traffic they're getting or not getting, and then look at some competitors and see what they're getting and see where the opportunities. And if there is an opportunity, then if you present the numbers, it tends to get past the objection. But if somebody's just negative, there's no matter how much you present to them, But I am willing to help as much as I can, and that's been a really good selling tool, because I'm also selling. Besides, we work with you as a reseller, and we have other resellers we work with, but I'm also out there selling directly to clients. So I know what you guys are going through, and I know what works for me, and I show them the numbers and show them the opportunities and tell them, here's how we can help you. And then, if they want to move forward, I don't do hard pushes. I just do soft. But typically when I show them what's capable, they're like, sign me up. Let's go. How do we get started? And I've got the tools at my disposal to look up all that information, which they don't have. They don't have access to that.
Yeah. So
and also, I will tell you,
we can just contact you on. So, if you have before you go into a meeting, it's if you think it's a really good client potential for this, then just go in and submit the information, and you guys can help with the report for them.
Yeah, because basically with that too, you'll get a sense of, we can get a sense of what it's going to cost per click, or if there's even which platform might be a good platform. So there's a lot of preliminary stuff that I can figure out pretty quickly within an hour and put together a video that they can share with their clients or potential clients, and it has the best bang for the buck. It works really well, for me doing direct sales over on my side here.
Yeah. So we need to go. I know Troy's got a call with his people after this. So thank you for your time, everyone. Great call, great information. Always keep learning. The more you learn, the more you'll be able to help your clients, the more money you'll make, the better you'll feel about the money you're making, and the better your clients will feel about the money you're making. And it's all about really helping the client. So Franklin, I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone on the call.
You're welcome.
And good job.